So I'm smoking some London Dock from Daughters and Ryan. An aromatic blend with sensuous flavor notes of rum, cherry, and vanilla. Premium double toasted burleys, flue-cured Virginias, and naturally sweet Orientals marry exquisitely with a touch of spicy Louisiana Perique. Yeah, tastes like mostly burley to me. This is from 2016, and it's just been kind of sitting around in the tin for a long time. So, make some smoke, I will say. But the reason that I'm out here in my workplace, it's not really the smoking area, but there's a little picnic table and surrounded by blackberries, so it gives you a little bit of privacy. This is a pub pipe from Peterson. Now, you know how it is where, sorry, the little text message came in about the fire department water tender. When you get a bee in your bonnet for a pipe, and I have been kind of looking at these pub pipes for a long time, ever since they came out, really. Well, ever since I saw one at the cargo hold in Paulsbo, Doug Owen's store. He's got a few of them in there. And I just like the look of pardon me, that DNR tobacco. The look of them, because they're like a small house pipe. So here is a house pipe, Peterson house pipe. Here's a pub pipe. So it's kind of like a junior cousin or a 7/8 scale replica. So the pub pipe is definitely bigger. Probably won't be able to read anything on here, although I don't know, maybe. Is it upside down? No, Peterson's handmade. Okay. And then this one is the same stamp, seemingly. Peterson's. Handmade, made in Ireland. So, I just like the feel, of a big bowl. And I like this kind of rocky rustication, that Peterson rustication. It's a friend of mine said it's like a pine cone, holding a pine cone, and he's kind of right, So, anyway, I sprang for one of these. It has a P-lip. I kind of like the P-lip. It has a acrylic stem. So that's acrylic and not vulcanite. I like that. I put one of my little covers on it, my little vinyl bit covers. Gives me a good bite, and I can just hold it and talk and work with my hands, or do whatever I need to do. So that works out well. It's I don't know, it's just got a nice shape to it. I like it. Something about Peterson's, We were looking at Hal Holbrook as Mark Twain last night, and Hal Holbrook seems to smoke cigars, but Mark Twain seemed like he was a Peterson man, and he had some system pipes. I mean, it was like, whoa, those are pretty modern, But somehow Peterson just not every shape of theirs by any means, but they just have something about them that's very appealing to me. So I did it. So that's kind of my first new pipe in a while. And the price was right. So these are kind of spendy. They're like mid-price pipes, I would say. And then the house pipes are another order of magnitude above that. So, I don't know. I like it. Seems to smoke pretty well. It has a weird little metal screw-in stinger thing that you could take out, I'm sure. And it has a well. I think this house pipe does too. Yeah, where it's drilled in, there's a well down here, and so it collects spit and stuff. So, yeah, I've always liked house pipes. When we went to Dublin, stopped in at the downtown Peterson factory store, and it was good fun. It was like just a nice little shop. They since have moved, apparently. I'm trying to adjust this darn thing. And there we go. That's a minor difference, isn't it? And it was close to closing time on Saturday evening. So we went in there. I looked around, do you have any house pipes? And the guy said, yeah, there were a couple on the wall. And he said, oh, yeah, I've got a good selection here. So he opened up a drawer, and there are all these house pipes just loose in this drawer, kind of rattling around. And so I bought a couple of them. And that's the story about the one that I bought wasn't drilled. The shank was not drilled. So it was a very hard draw. But they made it right. And so, yeah. But it's just something about those shapes. Maybe I was influenced by early movies or I don't know what, but they just feel right. And they feel right in your mouth. It just kind of works right. Yeah. Some old diesel truck. So fall is definitely in the air. We've had these really warm days up here in the Pacific Northwest, but blue skies, clear skies, but the evenings are starting to get cool. So I'll finally close the windows in my house, my little cabin. We'll see when, but probably in 3 weeks or so. So it's just really a matter of size. It's like big house pipe, because they're so big you can't carry them around, you can't smoke them except in your house. And then a pub pipe, which is, I guess you could carry that to the pub, but yeah, they are just a little bit different in size. So, but really a very similar heritage. So I hadn't made a video for a while, like quite a while. And it was because I was getting my social smoking needs met outside of YouTube. Because that's what I was doing with YouTube. It was my way of socially smoking. And it kind of still is. But I now have a smoking buddy, a regular smoking buddy. There's the Pipe Club, of course, too. But I seem to get my social smoking needs met that way. So, delightfully so. I mean, it's great. It's like the best of all possible outcomes, But I just hadn't had a chance to make a video. I hadn't had really a place or a desire. I've been running around. And with my needs met elsewhere, I kind of threw YouTube off to the side. But it's always kind of fun to get a new pipe and talk about it a little bit, The silver band I could do without. I'll let it tarnish. I kind of like that tarnished look. It gets too shiny bright otherwise. But I'm loving this pipe. Not really loving the London Dock, though. That's kind of a typical aromatic, despite the description. I was hoping it was going to be better, although it is kind of old. It's getting a little dried, so. And aromatics don't really benefit from that. Not that Latakia does either, but it kind of wisps away into nothing. Becomes so mellow you can't even tell it's there. But this stuff, and it's why I have it at my desk, is I can take it out in the field and smoke absent-mindedly and kind of enjoy it. And I don't know if there's a good room note. It's really hard to tell, and it's kind of breezy. So, but if you're with other people, the room note of an aromatic can be kind of nice, even out in the field. So. So life is good. Getting the house kind of squared away for winter. I had a great retail experience. How often can you say that, right? So I've got this old Stihl 029 chainsaw, and I'm going to say it's 12 or 13 years old. Maybe it's a little older than that. Maybe it's 15 years. I don't know. But it's an 029, not an I forget what the new ones are. Anyway, it's always run reliably and well, and it's kind of a grunty workhorse. It's a Farm Boss, it says so right on the bar. It says Stihl Farm Boss. Well, what's not to like about that? So we're cutting firewood up there, doing great. Saw the bars or the chains a little dull, okay, and I think I had it a little tight. Yeah. So it was running fine, and then it died. And I thought, well, that's probably because it ran out of fuel. So I filled her up, and just couldn't really pull, something's wrong. So I called the forester at work. We have a forester. And he said, oh, yeah, go down to Pepe. No, actually, somebody else said to go down to this big, it's Pepe. I don't know if they're just in the Northwest or whatever, but they've kind of bought out a lot of rental businesses and so forth. They're a John Deere dealer, and they're sometimes okay, sometimes they're not. But the one close to me, the guy said, who used to work there and didn't work there because it's a crazy place to work and pretty dysfunctional. But he said the saw shop repair guys were good. So I was prepared to go in there. I was prepared to have them, drop my saw off. 2 weeks later, I get a call. Oh, it's going to be $500 to fix it, and then I'll just have to buy a new saw. Because the 029's in decent shape, but it's used, every year for firewood and a little bit of felling. So the forester said, take it to the hardware store in Kingston. They have a saw shop there, and they're good. So I did. I walked in there with my non-functional 029, and they weren't real busy. They were, just kind of a young guy behind the counter. And he said, here, let me take a look at that. And so he just takes it and starts taking it apart right in front of me. And we're talking as he's doing it. And so another guy comes in, and they start talking Stihl saws, and they're very opinionated, of course. So he said, yeah, that's what I thought it was. And it's this little brace of needle bearings on the end of where the sprocket is. It had failed because it probably was too tight, and then it was old, and nobody ever told me to grease those. I mean, I never read that anywhere, so I never did. So, of course, they blew up. But it was a fairly inexpensive little thing of roller bearings. little plastic case holding the roller bearings. So he replaced that. He had some in stock, greased it up, showed me how to do it, showed me how to take it off. Just a C-clip holds it in place. So while we were there, why not let's change the plug and change the air filter, which needed it, and then the fuel filter. It kind of comes as a kit. They had that too, so he just replaced all that and started her up and ran great. So I thought, this is a time for a new chain as well. So we did the new chain, all those parts in like 25 minutes or so. No labor cost and $100 out the door. It was like, while I waited, while I watched, while we talked about it. It was great. It was like small town service that you just don't get anymore. I would rate it 7 stars out of 5. It was really good. So that was very pleasant. I've had some trees come down on the property that are nice and dry I think they were standing dead actually. So we'll get those cut up and get them in the woodshed and get that all packed with wood. And then, it's like little squirrels gathering nuts for the winter, That's what it feels like. But that's fun. It's fun because I have somebody to do it with now. So it's a good thing. It's a great thing. But it's taken away from my YouTubing, I must say. Because that's why I make these YouTube videos. I don't make them to making money seems anathema to me. I just can't even imagine monetizing these, crazy. So YouTube does, I'm sure. I'm sure everybody has to fight through ads to get to them. I just wanted to show off my new pipe. So, if you like big Peterson pipes, you'll probably love a pub pipe. I think they're pretty great. And more affordable. They're like half the price of a house pipe. How is it that we aren't out of briar yet? Briar grows so slowly. I know that the Israelis have started growing it in plantations, but gosh, it's got to be like a 30 to 50 year crop, just like a fir tree, which is a 70-year crop. Alders are maybe 35, but it just seems like we'd be out of briar by now. And these big house pipes, this is an older one, but they use a lot of briar. That's a big chunk of briar. So I guess there's more briar out there growing than I thought. Down near the bottom of this bowl. That's one thing about a pretty dry aromatic mixture that's mostly burley. Burns down to white ash, and since most of the aromatic has disappeared over time, there's not much to sully the bowl. And just from the smell of the mix, it's just really light brown stuff. Looks like burley to me. I'm sure there's a little bit of something else in there. The Oriental's a little Perique and a little bit of Virginia, but I'm sure it's mostly burley. That's good. Breaking it in. The first smoke was a little new, kind of woody, but it's definitely better right now. So enjoy Indian summer and autumn, because soon enough it's going to be wet winter and yeah. So gutters are pretty much all done. I have one little section to do. No, 2 little sections to do. And so things are getting pretty good, pretty buttoned up. You know, with my back and then my hip, it was just really hard to be up on a ladder messing with a gutter. It just, yeah. There was a hole in the guest house roof where a big branch had come down, not this last winter, but the winter before. And, geez, I just couldn't deal with it, you know. So I just put up some blocking to keep the water from doing any damage. And luckily it didn't penetrate the inner house, as it were. But that's all fixed. Kind of hillbilly repair in a way, but not perfect. But it'll do the job, I do believe. So I'm not a perfectionist, and I consider that a good attribute. So, yeah. Anyway, enjoy the Indian summer. I know some people are broiling in heat, but soon that'll be replaced, and you'll think fondly back. Oh man, it was so hot, but wasn't that nice? I'll be smoking my pub pipe.